The latest Bellwether report brings good news on the health of the advertising and marketing industry, as well as the UK economy as a whole. What is the Bellwether? Well, this is a survey that Market produces on behalf of the IPA. It's a survey of around 300 executives in marketing departments in UK companies, and they tell us what they've done with their marketing spend over the past year, what they're planning to do with it over the coming year, and as that year goes on, they tell us how they're revising that budget spend in line with what's going on around them, whether business is turning up and they want to increase their marketing spend or vice versa. The latest survey covers the second quarter of 2014, and what we've seen historically is some very encouraging pictures for this year. This chart we can see here, this tracks their budget setting for the year ahead. Now in 2014, the latest bar on the right hand side shows that their initial budget setting for the year ahead was the strongest that we've seen for 7 years. So this shows the percentage of companies increasing their budgets, less those reporting a decline. So a very strong start to the year. Now we've seen this before. As you can see, we've had some increased budgets in previous years, but what's happened since the financial crisis is that typically the year hasn't progressed as companies intended it to. Maybe their sales disappointed, their profits disappointed, or the economic environment deteriorated. As we can see from this next slide, which shows us what actually happened to their budgets over the years, we can see that often the increased budget spend turned into a decline. Last year was different. 2013, we saw that, in fact, the improvement in the economy led companies to actually spend more than they'd originally planned on their marketing spend. Will that happen this year? Well, the signs are good. So we've had a strong initial budget setting, as we saw in that first slide, and this next slide shows what companies have done in terms of their revisions to that budgeted spend. Now, we can see here very buoyant numbers in the latest quarters. It was strongest in the first quarter when there was a net balance of plus 20. So that's 20% more companies revised up their existing budgets than declined those budgets. Now, that net balance fell to plus 15% in the first quarter, but that's still a very positive number. So that suggests that companies are ploughing even more money into their marketing budgets than they thought they would at the start of the year. Now, this is because companies are seeing their financial prospects improve. It's even more encouraging when we drill down a bit within those budgets. What we can see here from this slide is the different components of companies' marketing spend and which saw the largest increases. So at the start of the year, we can see that direct marketing saw the greatest infusion of new money into those 2014 budgets. But right behind that was main media advertising. Now, from an economics perspective, main media advertising is perhaps the most interesting. This, if you like, is companies really investing in their brands. It takes a lot of commitment to start a television campaign, for example, rather than a direct marketing campaign. You've got to be confident in the economic outlook and your sales prospects to justify a big investment into main media advertising. So this improvement was a very encouraging sign at the start of the year of what companies thought was going to lie ahead in terms of their growth performance. As we saw in the latest survey, we can now see that those main media advertising budgets also saw a strong upward revision. So that confidence in the underlying investment that they need to make has improved even more in the second quarter. So this is a very buoyant picture in terms of companies' confidence and the money they are prepared to spend. This translates, of course, into a good indicator of GDP. Our final slide here tracks the Bellwether data on their budget revisions against GDP. This is quarter-on-quarter growth rates. Now, of course, the economy has seen very reasonably strong growth rates over the last few quarters, around the 0.7, 0.8% quarter-on-quarter GDP. The Bellwether has been particularly strong, as we can see here. It's actually signalled even stronger growth than that. Maybe we'll see GDP revised up from those previous recent numbers, even stronger growth than we previously thought. The key message here, though, is the second quarter. The Bellwether is signalling another strong increase, maybe a 0.8% increase again in GDP for the second quarter. And what's also encouraging is the signal it's got for that forward momentum. This is companies investing in their brands. They perceive that demand will stay strong in coming months, suggesting that the second half of 2014 will be strong as well.